So you've been studying this issue for a while. Wall Street firms taking over, buying lots of homes in lots of communities, not just Nashville. What are you going to be studying going forward?
I would love to talk with people who are renters of these companies, and I'd also like to talk to people who live in neighborhoods and they're owners. So if I can give out my email address, and I would invite you to send me an email, and I would like to come out and talk with you, or talk to you on the phone at a minimum. It's Chilton, Chilton, at tnstate.edu. So I would like to kind of get those perceptions, because the big companies will tell you there are 300,000 of these homes nationwide now, roughly. And if only 2 or 3% of the renters are disgruntled and they make a lot of noise, it's going to make it seem like it's a big issue. I tend to think that the people who are disgruntled and making a lot of noise are not a vocal minority. There are a lot of people in those situations, because it is a very impersonal business model. And so I would really like to talk to people who are living in that situation. But I'd also like to kind of look at the impacts on home price appreciation by looking at neighborhoods in Nashville or the Nashville region, similar housing stock, similar demographics, similar trends like that, and looking at those that have high percentages of REIT properties and those that don't, to see over the last 10 years whether appreciation rates are the same or they've...
That's an interesting point.
It's
they must be counting on the appreciation, but it's not just the appreciation, because they're getting the rent.
No, that's not their... I mean, that would be great in terms of when and if they decide to liquidate their assets, but yeah, they're looking at the cash flow from the rent, so it's what's driving their business model.
Interesting. Let's go to Kenny. Hello, Kenny. Kenny, are you there?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
All right. How long do you think the housing boom is going to go? That was one question I have. And do you think that the metropolitan government is trying to get rid of the lower income people to cut crime out? And I'll hang up and listen to you, okay?
Well, thank you. Interesting.
Thanks for the question.
What do you think of that?
I don't like to predict. That's a dangerous game, and it always comes back to show that you were wrong. I thought that it was starting to slow down, and with the announcement of Amazon and some of the other new businesses that are coming here, that could have a tremendous impact, especially with, now, will it be people who are moving here from Seattle? Will it be local hires? I don't know. But it looks like it's still a growing, as long as the economy stays relatively strong and grows, I see the housing market continuing to move forward and appreciate. We're seeing some slowdowns in appreciation locally, and that's a good thing if you're a buyer. But again, when you're competing against these types of firms that can buy in cash, and oftentimes before the listing is even listed because they have networks with real estate brokers, that's a tough thing. In terms of, is Metro trying to push out low-income people? It's a tough question. Again, I don't think they're intentionally trying to push out. I think some of the things that have been done to attract businesses, to attract hotels, to create this kind of tourist culture and business climate downtown through tax increment financing that have attracted certain types of businesses, it has contributed to the cost, the appreciation, and people want to live near downtown now, and that has pushed out people. I think it's created a set of ripples that weren't necessarily anticipated, and now we don't know what to do. And I don't know how you put that genie back in the bottle. Other cities that are growing are dealing with the same types of problems. It's going to require some better solutions than I can provide.
It's interesting. That's a fascinating question. Is Metro trying to get rid of low-income people? And it doesn't sound like you feel like people got in a room and say, let's get rid of low-income people, but some of the policies are having that very effect.
Yeah, they are, and I've looked at Chattanooga a lot. It's happened there as well. It has, and now what do you do after the fact? And that's where I think we've got to be really serious and intentional about bringing new voices to the table instead of the dominant industrial, I should say, real estate voices and things. People who live in the communities need to be heard, and they need to be respected. And I know Nashville did Nashville Next, which had a lot of community input, and they did a great job of trying to get people to participate. But it's hard to get people to participate and give their input when historically it's been ignored. So rebuilding those relationships.
Take a break. Be back right after this.